Hi, today I'm going to show you how to put together the medium tumbler box, and this also applies to the large tumbler box that we sell as well. So here are the largest pieces, and before you get started, we're going to add the panels first, but I always like to fold on the score lines before adding the panels, so it'll be easier to fold once you get the panels on. So I already did that with the other piece. Then we'll add the panels. Just make sure you have them on correctly. There should be an even space around the each edge, and as well as the cutout area. Just carefully apply the panels, centering them. Be careful if you do use glue on paper, it could bleed through, so you might want to test that. I know that I can apply a certain amount of glue to each of my panels without it leaking through. And I also was using printed cardstock here, so it's a bit thicker. Now you could opt not to put the panels on. Again, this is the same process as you would use for the large version of the similar box. But you don't have to put the panels on. This is just an extra if somebody wants to add some festive paper or just make it personalized. Like if it were for a birthday, you might want to add some birthday paper, or for a man that likes maybe a lot of car items and maybe a car themed paper. So, because the purpose is to highlight the personalized tumbler that you made. Or maybe you might want to even theme the paper around the colors of the tumbler. So these are just purely optional. A lot of places where you buy tumbler boxes, they don't even have panels. So I think it's fun to add additional color, but that's just me, being that I've been doing 3D crafting and scrapbooking for a while. So once you get all these panels on, and we're not putting the panel on the lid yet. You could do so if you wanted to, but I put that on the end. But once we get all these panels on, we'll assemble that bottom box. So there's that large tab on the side. Doesn't matter which piece you start with, but add glue to one of the large side tabs. And then you're going to want to match up the edge of the other piece to the tab fold. Just carefully match it up, making sure the top and bottom are aligned as well. And then apply pressure. Sometimes I fold it like this, or you could just apply against the table. And then it easily folds over, and you see that it'll match up. If you got the first one lined up, the second one will match up. Should match up pretty perfectly. Sometimes it's just a little bit off, but that's usually because you didn't align the first one exactly. It's handcrafts, so nothing's exactly perfect. So you want to line it up and apply pressure, just like the last tab. And then that forms the basic shape. We just have to glue the bottom. So I needed extra strength for the larger tumblers. The insulated tumblers are very heavy. So I did it in such a way that it would not fall through the bottom. That was my concern in making these. The two flaps on the bottom, we're going to glue those together first. So we also have an insert we're going to put in there. So you could get a pencil and just mark where that edge meets. And then you can add glue up to that point. A little challenge with the space I'm working in right now. I'm not in my normal crafting location, so I apologize. Therefore, I have to move things around. So when you glue it, you can see you just want it aligned and you make sure it's centered and the edges meet. And just kind of press it a little bit to get it to stick, and then you can flip over and reach in either with your hand or a long utensil to apply pressure to make sure that glue adheres. And then once it does, you can go ahead and glue each flap. And I do one flap at a time, taking the same steps as I did with the bottom, where we want to add glue to one flap and then fold it over kind of rub it to apply pressure from the bottom, just gently, and then reach in either with a utensil or your fingers to apply additional pressure. We want that bottom piece to be good and strong, especially if you're using this for insulated tumblers, which it was intended for. So now that the bottom's glued, we're going to add another piece in there, just one more structural piece to help strengthen it. So you see it just fits down there. It's a little bit smaller than the actual box dimension, so it easily fits in. Because what we'll want to do is add glue to this. And you don't want glue everywhere, so you want to kind of carefully insert it. So you can see how I'm doing it sideways. You kind of insert it, and I'm matching up that back edge with the back edge of the box and then just flipping it over. And then once it's down, I can apply pressure. It'll easily flip over, and you can see I'm using a pen, but you could use a flatter utensil. It was just what I had at my disposal at the moment. And you see we have an insert, but you can see how it fits. I'm using the Ozark version, but the Yetis are the similar size. I don't know about other tumblers, but this is what I base the box on. So here's you're just folding the score lines for the insert, and will hold the tumbler in place in the box so it doesn't jiggle around. Now this is slightly smaller than the box as well, so it should just fold in each side, and then you'll push it down. Once you get it in, just kind of push it down. That opening helps, and just get it down, and it'll sit right below that bottom edge. And then you see the tumbler will fit right in it, and then all we need is a lid now. Now you could add the panel first to this, but in this case I didn't. I mean, you still can add it after the fact. It is beneficial to do the panels on the box first if you're going to use panels on the box, but for the lid, it can be either before or after. I'm going to fold in those side tabs so we can glue those to the adjacent sides to make the edges of the lid. So as we did with the box, just fold those in, and then align that adjacent edge with the tab fold, and you can feel with your fingers that it's lined up before you apply pressure. I do this a lot, so for me to line it up it may take me faster than most. If you don't do it all the time, you might just need to slow down and just get it lined up and then apply pressure. And we'll do that for all four sides. And one thing while you're watching this, because it's the same process, I don't show this, but a good thing for this box would be to either tie it with twine or a little piece of rope or ribbon or something where you're tying it around. You could or could not. You don't have to, but it'll help secure the lid. One reason I didn't make this box in the first place is I'm getting concerned that they're kind of flimsy, but they're really not meant to be sent in the mail or anything like that. You can if you pack them really well, but they're meant to be one of those boxes you just want to pretty up maybe a personalized tumbler you did for somebody. So there's the lid completed. So we're just going to add that panel. Again, you don't need to use it. Sometimes I think the plain panels are cute too. Well, you could add flowers on the top, whatever you want to do. A bow, a flower, whatever it is. And then the reason it's not a big deal is I can flip it over easily and add pressure to make sure we secure that panel. And there it goes. It just goes on the top like this. I think this is a great box to use for those personalized tumblers to gift them. And I hope it's helpful and you enjoy it and it works well for you. Just let me know. Thank you so much for watching.